It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's Jags Hate Week, part 1. Let's talk about the many reasons why we all hate the Sparkle Kittens. Get in here. Welcome to From the Cheap Seats. Hey, welcome. Glad to have you. I'm your host, Bonafide, and this is From the Cheap Seats, the show where we preview and recap every game from this Titan season. And we're going to jump right into it. Hey, this is our game preview. So we're back on the road for the second week in a row, and we're going down the Duval. It's so corny how they do that. But yeah, I used to be stationed there in 2002 to 2006. I used to live in Duval. So yeah, it can get pretty annoying. And we're going to face off against the Jacksonville Jaguars, aka known to me as the Sparkle Kittens. Now, why do I call them that? Why do I call them the Sparkle Kittens? Because of that stupid two-tone helmet that they used to wear. Like, in what fashion sense, in what part of the world does somebody say, hey, man, I think our helmets should be two colors, one from here and one here. It was so poor. It was just like that's what you know, Sparkle Kittens, and it just stuck with me. So hey, man, use it to your own advantage. All right, now their style and their taste in fashion may be poor, but their record isn't, because they are 6-3 and they lead the AFC South. But that doesn't mean that they are perfect. Everything is perfect in the land of Jacksonville, because they just got a shellacking last week from the doggone 49ers, who beat them like 34-3. Now, don't get me wrong, their offense is still really good. They still got a really tight, nice defense. You know, they got ETN in the backfield. They got Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball to Calvin Ridley, who just got signed back, and Christian Kirk and Zay Jones. So they got an offense. They got a good offensive kind of coach in Doug Peterson. But man, they Sparkle Kittens, bro. Now, we couldn't score an actual touchdown yesterday, so I can't brag too much, but it's always good to celebrate the downfall of your rival. You know, I feel like that if I keep my hating ways like that, I'll be invited to the next Haters Ball, and I might get Hater of the Year, because like, hey, I hate the Jags, all right? So now, like I said, we lost to the Bucks because we couldn't score a touchdown, and we're at the bottom of the division. But this is the crazy thing. This is only our second divisional game. So this is the only, now we lost to the Colts that first game, but this is only the second AFC South divisional game that we played in. Still got a couple more to go. I don't know why it always ends up being this way. And I know that the league kind of schedules those division games to be in the back half of the season, but yeah, so, you know, this, to say the least, this game is important to us if we want to stay alive. And, you know, if you're still holding out the hope, you know, I am. But if we lose this game on Sunday to the Jaguars, that hope is going to fade fast. Now, the Jags, who I consider probably our biggest rival. And after that lethargic game we had last week against the Bucs, you know, if you can't find the juice to go down to Duval and beat these jokers into submission and kind of right your season a little bit, hey man, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? And yours truly will be making the trip to Jacksonville. I'm gonna leave Sunday morning. I'm gonna drive up the road, like a 2-hour drive, hook up with my old Navy buddy, and we're gonna watch the game. Now, like, fun fact, when I was stationed there, I used to go to every Titans and Jag game, and man, those were some good years, because, you know, we used to win every last one of them games. But yeah, and I've seen some weird stuff. Like, I saw Steve McNair hung in effigy in Jacksonville. So yeah, those are weird people in the city of Jacksonville. But next segment, who's in and who's out, you know. So on an unrelated note, if you watched the Thursday night game from last week, you noticed that Joe Burrow was out with a wrist injury. So there's like some conspiracy going around about, you know, the Bengals not reporting the injury to the league. Now, it may catch some steam because, you know, your boy did put a couple parlays down on that game, and I lost because Joe Burrow just went out of the game. yeah, so either way. So hopefully maybe I get a refund in my bet. But we won't talk about that right now. But that's why our injury reports, like I said last week, look like a CVS report, because the punishment that you can get for not reporting those injuries, you can get fined. Shoot, you can even lose some draft picks by not doing it, because it's, if you don't know the injury, it could be considered a competitive advantage for other teams. So yeah, we gotta look out that. But that's why our injury list is so long, and it's no different this week. The list was, I think if you played in a Titans game, you might be on the injury report. Burks and Dillard are probably not going to play because they're still in concussion protocol and haven't practiced all week. While I was getting ready to film this, Ken Moore dropped a tweet where he said it looks like that Burks could be in the concussion protocol for the remainder of the month, and maybe he might be out for the season. So, maybe that concussion that he suffered was a little bit longer. And if that's the case, we might be seeing the end of, Burks here. But that may be another story in the offseason. I don't know anything. I'm just going off of what he said. SMB with the thumb and Brunskill with the ankle might be back. They missed the Tampa Bay game, but they may have a chance to play this week. So Derrick Henry, Newt, and Danico Archery were all off, but they were not injury related. It was just rest. So relatively healthy, I guess you could say. We did work out Marquez Callaway, so that makes a little bit more sense why we would have worked him out, given the Burks news that we just got. That was literally today. So when you're watching this video, who knows? Marquez Callaway could be signed next week or the week following or whatever. But we shall see. So next segment is Jags Hate Week Part 1. So as long as I can remember, I have hated the Jaguars. And I know that's a bold statement. You're not really supposed to hate anything, but I hate the Jaguars. I dislike Texans, and I really dislike the Colts, but I hate the Jaguars, all right? Now, if you're a real Titans fan, then this statement kind of resonates with you, because you probably should be hating them too. Now, recently, they've had some success against us, so, hey, man, when you in a fight, you're going to get punched, man. But for the most part, we've been the victors. We hold a record of 34-23 versus the Jags. And I'm talking about, this is going all the way back to when we were still the Houston Oilers. Yes, Houston Oilers, history belongs to us too. So them Oilers whoopings that you took as Jags fan, yeah, we count them too. Now, we beat, now if you know your history, I'm going to take it down history lane a little bit. Remember that season when we went to the Super Bowl? Well, guess what? The Jaguars were pretty good that season. They went they won like 12 games. The only 3 games that they lost were all at the hands of the Tennessee Titans. They lost to us twice in the regular season, and then they made it to the AFC Championship game. And guess who they lost to again? Yes, that is right. They lost to the Titans. So, and then remember, until last year, the Jags hadn't beaten us since home or away since 2019. Even when we were terrible, the Jags couldn't beat us. Now, you know who's been bringing the pain? Who's been dropping the hammer on the Jacksonville Jaguars all this time? Yes, that man, Derrick Henry Jr. Let's use his whole government name. Derrick Lamar Henry Jr. has been bringing the pain to Jacksonville's defenses for quite some time. And guess what? Fun fact, Derrick is from Yulee, Florida, in the shadows of Everbank Stadium. And he been bringing the pain to them as long as, there is so many Derrick Henry highlights against the Jags. It's crazy. Man, look, if you want to think about Titans highlights against the Jags, even Marcus Mariota, yes, that Marcus Mariota has a highlight clip that, look, every time I watch it, it brings chills down my spine. You know the one, when he was out there, he needed the first down to seal the game so we go to the playoffs, boom, boom, and he stiff on. I'm talking about, he learned this from Derrick Henry, stiff on Barry Church. And then Barry Church started chirping and said something, and Marcus Mariota had to be held back by imaginary Polynesian warriors so he didn't get his face. Am I exaggerating? Yes, but that's how bad I hate the Jags. I make it look bigger than it really was. All right, so look, now We lost the last 2 games to them, including the game that we could have won at, and we would have won the division, would have made the playoffs. I mean, Josh Dobbs, who's having an absolutely spectacular season this year, pretty much was the QB, and he almost did it, but the NFL officiating crew, let's just say, most of America that day didn't know what a fumble was or was not. So that's it. But this is just part 1. We got to play them again. So part 2 is going to come when we play the Jags again. Now, my closing segment, my final thoughts and predictions. We got to get off this slide. I'm telling you, as much as I hate the Jags, we need to win this game. Because like in past years, we would circle this game on the map and say, hey, that's a win. That's a dub because they can't beat us. But not so much. I mean, like I said, their team is pretty formidable. They've won some games that they shouldn't have won. And they've lost some they shouldn't have lost. But this is a game that we, the Titans, and more importantly, Mike Vrabel needs to win. Or that seat, whether you believe it or not, is going to get hotter. It's going to get hotter if we don't win this game. So my prediction for the game is, like, I feel like we come out with a lot of energy. You know, the offense is kind of clicking. Wheels is out here throwing the ball. We're hitting the routes. We're doing that. But we just don't have enough to beat the Jags in Duval. And I go home, drive back to the house with that L on my mind, because we have fallen to the Jaguars 28-24. And then we start having some tough discussions here on social media and on Section 240. But hopefully I'm wrong. But that's just my prediction. So if you made it this far, I appreciate you. Tune into the next episode where we're going to be giving you a full recap of this Sparkle Kittens game against the Titans. And don't forget, we're doing our Road to 1K giveaway. So if you want to win an authentic Nike Oilers throwback jersey, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Share it to your friends. You got Titans friends that you know that watch YouTube and ain't subscribed to the channel. Come on, son. Come on, man. Don't stiff arm the channel like Derek stiff arms Jaguars linebackers. Make sure you share the channel with them and tell them to subscribe. Because like I always say, baby, there's plenty of room in the section for all of us. So until next time, tighten up.